Hey guys, how are you all? I hope you all are good and doing well in your studies. Welcome back to my channel Study with Unique Vaishali. Today I am here in front of you to share the summary of the chapter with the help of the keynotes. So let's get started. The portrait of a lady, written by Khushwant Singh. This story revolves around the two characters, grandmother and the author himself. Khushwant Singh was prominent Indian writer. He draws the pen portrait of his grandmother. He has beautifully written an account of his relationship with his grandmother. The major themes of this chapter are: number one, innocence; number second, friendship; number third, love; number four, kindness; number five, respect; number six, acceptance. In further video, we will be covering all the theme of this chapter. So now let's proceed forward. The chapter is divided into 7 parts. Number one, appearance of grandmother. Second, daily routine. Third, turning point in their relationship. Fourth, when author went to a university. Fifth, when author left for abroad. Sixth is last hours of her life. Seventh, sparrow paid their silent tribute. First part we will be covering that how grandma looks, what she wears, how her hairs were. In second part we will be covering the daily routine. Both author and the grandma used to live in village with their family. We will be covering the daily routine of author and the grandma. Next, turning point in their relationship. The major turning point came into the relationship when the entire family shifted to city. Now, in fourth part, when author went to university. Now, what happened when author completed his basic education, like when he completed his class 12th, parents decided to send him to the university, and when he went to university, separate room was given to author. Means before going to the university, author and the grandma used to live in the same room. But after this, he got his own personal room. The author got this personal room. Next, when author left for abroad, now what happened? For further studies, author decided to move to abroad, and he went over there. No doubt. Now what happened? Grandma accompanied him to the railway station, and there he thought that he will never be able to see his grandma in his life. But exactly things happened opposite. When he came back from abroad, he saw that the grandma is standing on the railway station for receiving him. Meanwhile, grandma's nature was changed. She didn't speak much. She kept chanting prayer and nothing else. When author came back, on the next day, she died. Means we will be watching how her last hours went. मतलब डेथ से पहले उसके जो कुछ घंटे थे वो कैसे गए. We will study that. As we are all aware that the grandmother was the animal lover. When she died, sparrows paid their silent tribute. Why sparrows paid their silent tribute? Because grandma used to feed them, love them, and you know what? What that animals do have feelings, emotions, but the thing is they cannot tell us, they cannot speak, but they do feel. Now, what happened when she died? The sparrows entered her room, scattered around her body. They just kept silent, and when the body was taken ago, they silently flew away. Now let's discuss the chapter step by step. First, appearance of grandmother. Old, short, fat, and slightly bent. Means Oldma was old, short in height, fat, and slightly bent. Means her backbone was not straight. Her silver hair scattered untidily on her wrinkled face. Means her hairs were silver in color. They were scattered, बिखरे हुए थे. They were not tied properly. And the hairs were falling on her wrinkled face. Hopped around the house in white clothes. Means she roam around the house in the white clothes with one hand resting on her waist. Means her one hand was always kept on her waist, and the other hand telling the beads of rosary. Other hands were used for chanting. Now, moving forward, author remember her as not very pretty, but always beautiful. Means author doesn't remember that she was pretty when she was young, but he remembers that she was beautiful. Moving towards the second point, daily routine. Means childhood phase of author in village. When he was a small child, what grandma do? Wakes him up in the morning, plastered his wooden slate, prepare breakfast, and accompany him to school. She walks him up, prepare wooden slate for him, prepare breakfast, and accompany him to school. And why she do all such kind of things? Because she love him, and moreover she accompany him to the school because the school and the temple were very near. So she dropped him to the school and she herself went to the temple in the morning. While he studies alphabets, she read the scripture in the temple attached to the school. On the way back, she feed stale chapati to stray dog. Stale means basi roti. Now we will be reading about the third point. That was turning point in their relationship. When the entire family shifted to city. In city, Arthur went to a city school. In motor bus and studied English, law of gravity, principle, and many other things. Grandma, who used to teach him in his childhood, now she was not able to understand anything. Grandma, who used to accompany him to the school, now grandmother could not accompany him to school, nor she was able to help him in his studies. She was upset that there was no teaching of God and scripture. She was not happy with the education system of city school. Instead, he was given music lesson, which according to her was of no use. Now we will be covering the fourth part. When Arthur went to a university. What happened, like when author went to the university, separate room was given to him. And you know what? The room was the only common link between the author and the grandmother, because they used to share the same room before author went to university for the higher education. And when he got the different room, separate room, the common link of their friendship was snapped. Grandma's nature was also changed. Grandmother rarely talked to anyone. She spent most of her time sitting beside her, spinning wheel, reciting prayers, and feeding the sparrows in the afternoon. Her nature was changed. She rarely talked to anyone. She spent most of her time sitting beside her spinning wheels, मतलब कि जो रोलर वाली चेयर होती है ना, जो आगे पीछे होती है, वो उस पे बैठती थी. Reciting prayers. The whole day she just recites the prayers. Feeding the sparrows in the afternoon, and in the afternoon she feeds the sparrow. Moving towards the fifth part, when the author left for abroad. First, here she means grandma. She did not get disturbed. Rather, she saw him off at the railway station. Now what happened? We have seen in the chapter, when the entire family shifted to the city, the grandma was not happy with the schooling system of city schools. She was upset. But when author decided to went to abroad, she did not get disturbed. What she did, she accompanied him to the railway station. Seeing her old age, the narrator thought that it was his last meeting with her. Like the grandma was very old. When Arthur was living for abroad, he thought that it was his last meeting with her. He will not be able to see grandma when he will come back from abroad. He thought that she will die. Contrary means opposite to his thinking when he returned after a span to 5 years. Grandmother was there to receive him. He was shocked to see grandmother standing on a railway station, for receiving him, because before leaving for abroad he thought that it was his last meeting with her grandma, with his grandmother. But things happened opposite. When he came back after 5 years, he saw that the grandmother was standing on the railway station to receive him. She celebrated the occasion by singing songs of the homecoming of her grandson. When Arthur returned back to the city, she celebrated the occasion by singing song. Means she was very happy. Now we will be covering the sixth part of the chapter, that is last hours of her life. Next morning, she got a mild fever, she could foresee that her end was near. The night when the author returned, she was very happy. She celebrated. She sang song for the author. And on the next day, she got mild fever, and she was able to see that her end is near. Means she is going to die. She peacefully kept on praying and telling the beats till her lips stopped moving. Means what happened? When she realizes that her end is near, she is going to die, she peacefully kept on praying and telling the beads till her lips stopped. मीन्स वो जो माला थी उनके हाथों में वो उनको रोटेट करे जा रही थी उन्होंने तब तक उसको रोटेट किया जब तक उनके लिप्स शांत नहीं हो गई, यानी कि जब तक उनकी डेथ नहीं हो गई. एंड द rosary fell from her lifeless fingers. Now coming to the last part. Sparrow paid their silent tribute to mourn her death. Thousands of sparrows flew in and sat scattered around her body. When grandmother was dead, the sparrows, the 1,000 sparrows, flew in the room and sat scattered around the body. No chirping, and when Arthur's mother threw bread crumbs to the sparrow, they took no notice of the bread. Now what happened when grandma was dead and 1,000 sparrows sat scattered around her body? They didn't create a single voice, no chirping voice. Even when Arthur's mother threw breadcrumbs, means pieces of bread, to the sparrow, they paid no attention to them. They flew away quietly when the dead body of grandmother was carried away for her last rites. Now what happened when grandmother's body was taken away for her last rite? The sparrows flew away quietly without making any noise.